This podcast is brought to you by Fandom Spotlight. Check us out at fandomspotlight.com. Have fun and follow your fandom.
Last time on Dragon Ball for Life.
Anime, we have your attention again. Because this is part two, part again of the amazing interview with the hardest working man in comics, Mr. Victor Dandridge. But I ain't going to take up too much of your time with this intro. So let's just get right to it. Bow.
Of people that I didn't enjoy working with is so small it doesn't even count. Like, I can't really say that they're like, other than that.
That's
one
good
dude,
to say. That's good to say, though.
Yes, I've been very fortunate.
Other than Ed Norton.
It was not Ed. It was not Ed. I'm gonna get a phone call. He's like, "Why are you telling people?" I'm like, I didn't say that. Eddie, baby.
Victor, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
It's like, did you guys put the episode out because I'm gonna need some edits?
I'm like, come on, man. Come on. Don't sulk me right now.
Don't sulk me, sir. Like, even before the episode calls, he's gonna call you like, "Yo, strangest thing. I feel like you were talking about me recently."
I'm not entirely sure, but I do feel like that was the case.
No, he's like, first rule of Ed Norton's fan club is you don't talk about Ed Norton. And second rule, like, you've broken two rules already. And I'm like, come on, Eddie. Like, come on, bro.
Eddie, baby.
Never.
Hilarious.
But like,
we love Ed.
Yeah,
we love you, Ed.
Absolutely love you, Ed.
Now, look, for everyone who's going to be listening to this episode, you do a lot more than just working and moderating these different Comic Cons. But we're going to stay on the topic of comics, and we want you to talk this shit.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Kindergartens. Let's talk. Like, let everybody know just everything about it, because I think that's super dope what you got going for that. And
thank you.
And I think it's the beginning of some major things that are going to come for you in the future.
Listen, from your lips, we're gonna put that out there.
We speak things into existence over here.
When I'm bigging you up, like, yeah, my man got his own comic. Like, what your friends do?
That's real talk, baby. That's real talk.
You just been drawing them S's on your notebooks.
Yeah. Them San Frans. Them 6-line San Frans. That's all y'all been doing. That don't even count.
My man got his own comic. Like, what you doing?
Serious, man. So Winter Care Presents the Kindergartens is a book that I do with Justin Castaneda out of Chicago, and he's fantastic. Big shout outs to him. He's my partner in comics for real. It's Muppet Babies meets the Justice League. And so
let's go.
Thank you. It harkens back to like just feel good comic time periods, right? Like it's little kids having misadventures. You've got this setup of them being at a school like the X-Men, but they're not on some super serious, bigotry type stuff. Like it doesn't have to be like that. We're just having fun. Although we do get into some like very serious commentaries. We did a book called What Matters, and we're talking about like police brutality and the what Black Lives Matter movement. Like we hint on that very heavily by way of like explaining like what is this conversation? How would you explain it to a child as to what was going on? And we felt like it was important. In fact, like we actually had some friends that non-people of color that were like, we don't know how to talk about what's happening in the world right now, and your book changed that. Like, this gave us a blueprint and just a couple of pages of how we can address this with our children. Like, thank you for that. And we're like, that's what we're here for. Like, we needed to tell this story, and we're glad that we immediately knew that there would be an audience to listen and receive it. But generally speaking, we try to tell like very fun silver agey stories that are all ages and content and just fun. We just finished up our Kickstarter a couple weeks ago. That was over, I think it was 142% funded. Big love and shout out to everyone that supported that one. We appreciate that in the biggest of ways. We're producing the second half of the series. So we did the first half, which was 5 issues plus free comic book day issue. Mm-hmm. And the second half will be issue 6 through 10 plus that What Matters story. And Yeah, it's been phenomenal. The thing that has been cracking me up though is everyone's response that why isn't this a cartoon series? This has got to be a cartoon. This has got to be a cartoon.
Look.
And I cannot confirm that it's in development to be a cartoon. I can't say that. Like you can't, like when you're in that space, there are things that you can say and you can't say. So I can't say that. What
is Edward Norton involved?
Who is he voicing? Which character is he voicing?
Totally be involved if you wanted to. If there was, what I can say is, last year I signed a first look development deal with Aha Media. It's a company based out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, with offices in LA, and we are looking at the entire Vantage in-house library. Everything that I've written and self-published is on the docket for consideration for film, TV, animation. I've pushed for video games. They're like, well, we're not really in that space. It's like, but you will be now. Right. Because you signed me in. You have to get into video games.
We're not limiting ourselves.
Yeah, no. We're developing for who wants it. Okay. That's what we do. That's what we're getting into. So it is on the chopping block for that. In terms of focus, right now, like that's definitely my story focus because we've got the second trade to finish up. But these 10 issues are amazing. Like, and it's so funny that like how it came about. Okay, you talk about the hustler mentality, right? So like for me, when I first started Vantage in-house, like I had the Samaritan drop, which got a lot of love. And then I followed that up with Origins Unknown, which is very teen friendly. And then I followed that up with the Trouble with Love, which is very young adult, but like older. Like when I say young adult, I'm not talking about like 13, 14, 15. We're talking like 18, 19, 20 readers. Samaritan obviously being mature readers. And then I have like my program called You Create Comics that I'm trying to get into schools, like show kids how to make comics and be entrepreneurial early on. So that it's not like, when I grow up, I want to make comics. Like you can do this right now. Let me show you how.
Yeah, you don't have to wait.
You don't have to wait. But when I would go to schools and they would go, well, do you have books that the kids can read? And none of my books were kid friendly. I was like, oh, snap. Like I got to make something that is kid friendly. And that's literally what sparked the impetus for the Kindergartens. Like I had this idea for a while of preschool age superheroes. Like that's just what it was. And originally the series was just going to be called Wonder Care. And it was just that. And one day, like I was just kindergarten. No one's made that into.
You're like, hold on.
How was that not a thing?
That's not a thing. Like what?
He's like, let me hurry up and fair use this real quick.
Like kindergarten. Let's go. And so like we started in 2014 strictly because I needed a kid-friendly book that I could show schools as part of my resume to get into doing teaching programs for them. And
let's go.
What's crazy is, dude, it's been amazing because it's evolved. Like it was a functional project for me initially, and now it's one of the best selling. It's literally one of the biggest projects, one of the longest projects that I've done through my imprint. Like it's got 10 issues. Like nothing else has that many issues. Only the Samaritan comes close at 8, and this one, beats that one. So it's crazy that this particular project that could start off as just like, kind of a gimme becomes something very fruitful, very prominent, and open up major doors. I think I can say, Kindergartens is what put me on Aha Media's radar, which is the funny thing. Like,
did they reach out to you or did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's even better.
Yes. Like that was a cool part because like they reached out to me for some of my like educational content stuff. And they were like, tell us more about what you do. And I told them, they're like, what's this Kindergartens thing? That's interesting. And we just started talking. And then like, we got the first look deal jumping. And so like, that was the first thing that like, they were like, what is that? Like, and just kind of talking about it. So again, like you never know what is going to be the thing, right? Like, and that's why I tell anybody, like, create as much stuff as you can. Like you can be like, oh, I got to focus on this one thing.
Create is create.
Yes.
All the time.
And get into a habit of bouncing around with your content. Like you can create something a little bit in this space, create a little bit in that space, let it all play against each other because you never know which one is going to pop to be the thing that everyone's going to recognize you for.
Mm-hmm.
And
like Vic, that's essentially how we met. Cause like I signed up for everything that Kyle was like asking people to be. He was just like, you don't have to do everything. I was like, no, I do.
I do.
Exposure. I'm doing everything.
I'm his voice out here.
It's like, no, actually, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just like, Matt, you don't have to do reactions to every movie. I was like, nope, I'm good.
Why you're saying I don't have to, but I want to.
But I'm going to.
Yes.
Like, it got to a point where he's just like, Matt, you can't do this one. I was like, oh, man.
Just like,
no. That's man's like, so if I start my own, though, you can't stop.
Essentially.
Hey, listen,
so I can take it where I want to take it.
Because that's the thing, right? Like, too many times, man, we get into this place where we think that there are people that have to tell us yes or no. Mm-hmm. And we don't recognize that we can do a lot of things on our own, especially in this day and age. And like, that's the hook right there. So I've got, multiple readership groups that I cater to because I don't know which one is going to be the thing for you. I could be in one lane, but how many people will I lose because this isn't that lane that they're in?
Mm-hmm, right.
But if I got a little something for everybody, then I'm gonna catch a lot of fish with that bait. Like that's just what it is. So
I love it. I love it. So
thank you.
So we definitely have to have you back for a part 2. But I want you to tell this story because I've heard it, but it's a great story. So the name Samaritan has been brought up a couple times. Can you tell the story about how you may or may not have been the influence to Sylvester Stallone's newest movie?
I am not the influence of this movie. Oh my God.
Victor was like, yo, Matt, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Look.
He said, I got my foot in the door, but I don't want them to close it on me. Like,
I put my friends on a pedestal.
This is good stuff. This is good stuff because this is all part of, again, that energy that I'm talking about, like finding that silver lining and being that guy that pushes the positive over the negative at all times.
Hell yeah.
That's my job. Okay, so my series, The Samaritan, that I do with my brother Ren McKenzie. Big shout out to Ren. Great work on that one. Big shout out to Jean-Paul Deschung, who did the 8th issue. Like, dope. The idea is this guy with superpowers moves into a crime-ridden neighborhood and starts systematically cleaning it up. Very hands-on, very aggressive. If Punisher had superpowers, is that kind of level of stuff. Like it is, he's not just like, I'm going to put you in jail. Like, no, I'm going to break you because you're doing bad to the neighborhood. Like, I'm going to give you a chance, but if you don't take this chance,
I love that idea.
Like, that's just it. So we did that. Let's see. We started, like, that's the first book that launched Vantage Inhouse. So May 2011, we're launching Samaritan #1 with a fabulous cover from Lindsay Rogers, a local artist at Columbus. She's fantastic. Buy her art because she's a fine artist. So like, she's dope. We launched that one. This series runs for 2 years. Issue 7 comes out 2013. That's the planned end of that series.
Okay.
So 2015 or maybe 2014, I sell a copy to a guy that works at William Morris Entertainment. He's an agent. So I'm hyped. I'm like, yo, he gave me his card. I'm like, could this be a thing? Like, what we got open up?
You said Birdman hands. Birdman hands.
You know what I'm saying?
Birdman hand rub.
Like, I'm ready. I'm ready. I follow up with him like, hey, did you like it? He's like, actually, I lost my copy of the book. Can you send it to me digitally?
Say no more.
Send. Like, let's go. So I'm like, cool. Fast forward 2015, Marvel Netflix Luke Cage comes out. The first 3 episodes are very similar to what I wrote. Now, that was the first time that like anybody like in my circle, other creators were like, yo, this looks and feels very much like Vic's book. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like, and I have a partner that works at Marvel, and I saw him in New York like that following fall, and he's like, listen, I'm not saying that your book was on set, but your book was on set. Like, and so like I had people like, well, are you going to sue him? And I'm like, no, never. And they're like, what? Why not? I was like, they ripped you off. And I was like, did they? Did they rip me off? I was like, here's the thing. I can tell people that Netflix Luke Cage series is a multi-million-dollar commercial for my book. Mm-hmm. If you liked Luke Cage, you'll love The Samaritan.
Bang.
If you watch this one, read this one. Mm-hmm. They don't have to be in contention with one another, right? Like they can just vibe, like it's fine. So people were like, wow, that's crazy. I can't believe you would do that. I'm like, smart of me. Like, one, my arms are too short to box with Disney. My arms are definitely too short to box with Netflix. Why would I do this? Plus, if I do this, what does this cut me off from? I could never work for Disney or Marvel at that point. I could never sell to Netflix. What's the value? Like, I don't see the value in it. Mm-hmm. And it was absolutely the right move because in my moderating, I've ended up working with, Michael Coulter, who played Luke Cage, mm-hmm. right? Like I've been on stage with him, which I never would have been allowed to do if I sued them over.
He'd be like, "Aren't you that guy?
Ain't you that?" Like that would have been no go.
Gotta have the long view.
Exactly. View. Theo Rossi, who played Shades on that series, mm-hmm. is one of my friends now. Like we can call each other. Like that never would have happened if I had sued them. You mm-hmm. know what I'm saying? And I've even given Theo a copy of The Samaritan. Like. You know, people have said, I don't know if you've ever seen this before. Don't tell me. Just, I want you to have a copy. Yeah. Like, this is from me to you, like, period. I've given a copy to Mike. It's not a matter of whether or not you've ever seen this before. I'm not looking for that validation. I know my stuff is good. I just want you to have a copy from that me. Part. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is from me. Do I think that they gave me a shout out? Yes. Okay, this is so stupid. In the second episode of Luke Cage, there's a scene in the barbershop. And there's this dude getting his hair cut. And the dude gets up and leaves. And they're like, hey, thanks, Victor. We'll see you later. This dude doesn't appear anymore in the series. Like, why did they give him a name? Like, why did they even say anything?
Yeah, why did this guy getting a taper fade need that?
Random dude.
That's his name in the credits. Like, guy getting fade.
Yeah.
Guy getting fade, right? Victor with the fade. Like that's
Victor
what
with the fade.
Dude doesn't show up throughout the rest of the series at all. So why they felt the need to
we didn't see him later.
The universe works in strange ways.
Right. So I'm always like, maybe that was my little plug. Like, cool. Like, I'm gonna take it. Like, I'm gonna just run with it. And of course, like, as I say these things, like, oh, you know, Luke Cage was a multi-million-dollar commercial for my book. What's the worst thing that can happen? Disney goes, don't say that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now I'm gonna tell everybody. Disney told me I can't say this anymore. Come buy my. There's a way to swing it. Okay,
Disney told me not to tell you.
Disney said don't say this. So 2015. Funny enough, I'm on my way to Wizard World Chicago. And I just started rocking with Comixology, putting a couple things on there. And I was trying to figure out how I wanted to do the Samaritan because the way that their digital reader works, like it takes panels and brings them up for you. But the Samaritan is designed where it's broken panels. Like you have to have a series of panels together to see one image. I'm like, I don't know if they'll be able to do that. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So I'm happening to look and I find a series called Samaritan on Comixology, written by Bragi Schrute and art by Mark Oliphant. Big shout out to those guys. That's the series that the Sly Stone book is built off of. The cover features this little kid and this guy that's kind of wearing not quite a hoodie. Like I would say it's more of like a poncho look. Like it looks more like
Unbreakable.
Yes. Like it looks more like that. Dude's got a mask on, but it looks a little bit more like Unbreakable. Now, again, I can't say anything because I will definitely claim Unbreakable as part of the inspiration for the Samaritan. Mm-hmm. I say it's Roadhouse meets Unbreakable all the time. Like that's definitely a thing.
That's a fabulous
Dude,
mix.
Yeah,
it's right there. So funny enough, I've known that this Samaritan series has existed for years. So when it gets announced that it got optioned and that Sly Stone was a part of it, I had people, is this yours? Is this yours? I'm like, no, it's not mine. It's not mine. Oh, okay, cool.
Are you sure?
That would be the end of it. No, as it was starting to get like a little bit more press as it was moving to Prime, no. For the last 2 months, every day, at least one person has asked me, am I somehow associated with it or did they steal from me? And I'm like, neither is the case, like at all. And I've had people like low-key argue with me. Like just this past weekend.
You wrote this panel.
No, I swear
I'm telling you, I was in the room with you when you wrote it.
Verbatim, this is your dialogue.
This dude was like, he's like, did you reach out to him via Twitter? And I was like, reach out to him about what? He's like, yeah, you're right. They wouldn't admit that they stole anything. I was like, they didn't steal anything.
Yeah, you're right.
They didn't steal anything.
True.
So then, no, because then he's like, well, I mean, some of the iconography and the name, they definitely got you for that. And I was like, buddy, who would know better, me or you? Like, I get that you're a fan, like that's cool.
It's like I appreciate your support, but
I do, but no, this ain't got nothing to do with my story, like nothing. And over the years, like I've met Bragi. I met him in San Diego a couple years ago. I gave him a copy of my book. I was like, yo, like big support, like it's cool. We had a vibe, like there was something in the air, in the ether. We both reached out and we did something with it. Like, that's dope to me. Like, it's not a matter of like, you know, oh, my thing came out first. Like, he's in LA. So him getting a movie deal makes sense. He's in a space where he can do that way faster than I can. Cool. Like, the thing about it is, just because he got this movie made doesn't mean it stops me from getting a movie made. Like, it doesn't stop me at all. Like, and I have to tell that to people. I'm like, can you imagine a world where Deep Impact and Armageddon don't both exist? I was like, those movies came out like a month away from each other, and they're the same similar concept. Like, those are they're the same freaking movie. Like, what are you talking about? Like, there's a big meteor that's coming to Earth and it's going to kill everybody.
Yeah.
They got to send some people up into space to try to stop it. There's nukes involved. Like, it's the same movie, but like, it's not the same movie. So everything has its place. Everything can exist. And really, the success of Luke Cage, the success of Samaritan opened more doors for what I've got. Because now people are like, yo, there's a market for this. Oh, we need more stuff. And I go, I got some more. I come over here.
Right here.
Y'all see it works. I got one. You ain't got to build it from scratch. Here, try this. You know, and so it's in that way of support. Like, I just did a blog post about it, supporting my competitors, because it literally makes me stronger to see what they've done in the market, see what's working in the market, look at how I can market my stuff in relation to what is working, what is not working. I had some people that were like, yo, I think your story is better. Cool.
Right.
Buy more copies of the book so that more, you know, like producers are like, yo, this other book is jumping, you know. And listen, I'm not gonna front. Like, I did talk to my producer and I was like, yo, if we do consider the Samaritan, we shouldn't call it that. And he's like, word? And I was like, yeah, no. I was like, we should call it this based on the comic series, The Samaritan. He's like,
The Pedestrian.
I ain't gonna tell you what it actually is.
The individual.
They'll never know.
You might be saying, they'll never know.
They'll never know.
He was like, yo, first of all, shout out to you for being willing to change the name of your product to make it more sellable. And I was like, that's the job? Like, what do you...
Right.
Like, these ain't my kids, bro. Like, it's not like I got to, no, I named you and this is it. This is forever. This is an IP. Like, I want this to be mined, because the more, you know, opportunity that's created from this IP, the better I can take care of my kids, bro. Like,
Yes, sir.
like that's,
And we've seen,
like, hey, listen.
We've seen too many examples of people that are supremely talented that could do a lot more, that let their ego block them from those opportunities.
Can I do that?
Yeah. So
I do not speak from my ego. I speak from my kids.
Somebody used an example. I don't even remember where it came from. It was either a famous person or someone I met in the street. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Same.
Somebody.
Shout outs to you, whoever you are. I'm taking credit for this analogy. But they had said to me, or I had said to me, because it's mine now. It was just like,
claim it.
If you're a 5-star chef, but you only ever cook for your friends and family, like, are you a 5-star chef?
Nope, not at all. Not at all.
Nothing.
Bro, that is it right there. That is absolutely it. And okay, so in terms of shouting out folks, Mark Miller is my friend and mentor. Mark Miller, the creator of Kick-Ass and the whole Miller World slate. He hit me with this idea that was brilliant. He was like, look, my most perfect version of this story is the comic book that I made. If you want to pay me to do your version of it, go for it. Like, change whatever you want. I don't care. It doesn't mean that the book doesn't exist. The book still will exist. And, you know, it might even give me more sales from the book. Like, people are like, that show was trash, but the book is fire. I'm gonna get some more copies of the book. He's like, if that's your mentality, no one can beat you. And I'm like, that will be my mentality from now on.
Yeah.
Like, my perfect version is this.
especially now, like companion shows with books that might not necessarily match stories. That's like the new wave now, like with the Lord of the Rings series, with House of the Dragons. Like it's story accurate adjacent.
Right.
But it's like, well, now you have options.
Right. Because from a marketing and selling standpoint, like if you are watching the show and they're selling the book, but they're the exact same thing, and you've been watching the show, you're like, what? Why am I going to go get the book then?
Right.
Exactly.
Something different.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I never understood people who like trip when like a show deviates from the source material. Like, all right, well now you can be surprised about some shit.
Right.
Like, instead of, every beat that's about to happen. That's not an enjoyable watching experience.
Right.
It's not fun. It's not fun.
Like at all.
Yeah.
No, not in the slightest.
Because sometimes
it's like watching the 2005 John Cena match. I know everything that's about to happen.
You're like, all right,
my man got 5 moves. All right,
Next.
shoulder block, swing and a miss, 5 knuckle shuffle.
There we go.
Right.
He's gonna do one of these,
and the match is over.
And I always say this too, when people talk about sports and like have their takes, it's like I feel that people would rather be right in their opinion or in their prediction or just anticipating something rather than just simply enjoying what they are experiencing. And it's just kind of like I'll hear someone say, "See, I knew this was going to happen," but what happened isn't a good outcome. So are you happy that this negative outcome happened, or are you happy the fact that, oh, you predicted it and you were right? And we see that a lot.
Validation is cocaine, bro.
It's bad.
I need to be right.
I need to be right. And that's where I'm like, nah, you don't need to be right sometimes. Like, and I had to learn that too, because like I will be very critical when it comes to, pop cultural events or whatever. But I'm a storyteller. So I'm critical on the idea of, did you tell a story well? Did you tell the story that you aim to tell well? And I'll have my moments where I'm like, nah, I didn't think like that was a good story. And people, oh, I can't believe you didn't like that. This is why though. Like it's story that drives me. Like I can say like, oh, this thing was beautiful, but I hated the story. So I didn't like it. Like, that's it for me. But that's me like knowing myself. And I'm like, I'm not going to say that you can't enjoy it. I'm just going to be like, this is why I didn't. And it will be trash to me forever because of this. Like, because that's never going to change. The story is never, ever going to change from what they did in this, particular production. That's me on Wonder Woman. Like 2017 Wonder Woman, I hate it. I respect every woman that's like, it was empowering. I'm glad you felt that way. What I'm disappointed in is that you had to feel that from that movie, because that means that we're not giving you enough good content on an empowerment level that you can look at it with this idea going, nah, that was trash.
Yo,
like that's for this reason.
That's so crazy that you just said it. You just kind of fucked me up, because it's like when the first Wonder Woman came out, you're right. It's just like, it's like we were saying about She-Hulk. It's like I've invested so much time, I might as well see it. So like in terms of women, like, yo, we're finally getting like a woman to like in the forefront of a movie. Like she's the lead. Let's watch it. So it's just like whether it sucked or not, it's good for them. So it's good for them. So it's good to them. Right. But like the second one, since they already had the first one on the board, everybody hated that.
Everybody, because they're like,
it's like we got our victory in 2017. Fuck this movie.
Like, what?
This shit is terrible.
This is where this is going. Like, nah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, I hated 84 like way worse. Like 84 is worse to me than 17. And so what was funny was like I was on a panel with like Trina Robbins, who's the very first woman to ever illustrate a Wonder Woman comic. Janice Davis, who is a fabulous female YA writer. Ivy Doomkitty, one of the dopest like cosplayers ever. And then my man Tony Kim, who was hosting the panel. And we're going through like, everyone's, oh, I love this movie. So I'm at the end and I'm like, I didn't like it. And they're like, what? This is a Wonder Woman movie panel. I was like, yeah, they said that they assigned me this panel. They didn't say I had to like it in order to be on it. I didn't like it. And they're like, what? And I was like, listen. And we had like a room full of ladies. And I was like, listen, I'll explain why, as long as you give me some credence and don't think that I'm trying to mansplain it to you. I'm not trying to do that. I was like, I'm just telling you what I didn't like. And they're like, all right, cool. And I was like, I didn't feel like this movie was empowering to women. And oh my God. I was like, pick a scene, and I will explain why it wasn't to me. And so immediately they're like, the no man's land crossing. I was like, I knew you was going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. I said, here's my issue with it. I said, I'm a Wonder Woman fan. Like, I love Wonder Woman. Like, she's one of my favorite superheroes of all time. I said, my idea of Wonder Woman needs no permission from anyone to do what she's going to do. And they're like, okay. And I was like, so when she talked to the mom, and the mom was like, they're bombing us, they're doing all this stuff, da 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 da. Why did she go say anything to Steve? Why? Why did she talk to Steve at all?
Right.
What was the point? And they're like, well, I mean, I was like, no. I was like, my Wonder Woman would have been like this. She talked to that woman. We cut to Steve. Steve was like, okay, guys, we're about to, where's Diana? And he looks up and she's halfway across the field. And everybody's, oh my God, what is happening? The idea that she had this conversation with Steve where she's like, we need to go do this. He's like, we can't do this. We can't do this. She's like, well, I'm gonna. Never would have happened. She wouldn't have had the conversation.
She said, we get it. Chris Pine has beautiful blue eyes. Like, we didn't need that scene.
Like, she would be like, chuck the deuce. You guys are lame. I'm going to go across the thing. I'm going to go stop them. Like right now, I'm not asking for permission from anybody. I'm not asking for your support. I'm going to go do this because 1,000%. I'm Wonder Woman and I can do that. Like, watch me. And like I said that and everybody's like, damn.
He's a Vic be spitting.
Good point. That's a good point. Like, why did she even talk to him? I was like, and that's my issue. Everything that she does in the movie is because a guy tells her to do it or tells her she can't do it. And I was like, that is not Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is the woman that's like, you said, what happened? All right, I'll be back. Where are you going? Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You'll see in a minute. And then she does something wonderful. And everybody's like, oh shit. Like she just did that. You're like, yeah. I'm dying.
That's not Wonder Woman. That's okay, lady.
Okay, lady.
Okay, lady.
That's okay, lady.
You know, the fine female. Like she's like, that's it.
As everything when we all get together. Before we let you go, because we definitely had to have you for part 2, 1,000.
Oh, of course.
We semi-stumbled into a question that I want to ask you really quick. It doesn't have to be too deep. When talking about like telling a story and, you know, like people receive it different ways. So you as a fan and as a creator, are you on the side of if the story's great, I'll be okay if the ending's trash, or if the story's trash but it has a really great ending, Gonna be all right? Like which camp are you in?
That's a good one. As a okay, I'm gonna toot the horn. As a phenomenological narratologist.
Boom.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa there.
Yeah, that's
hey, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
I'm gonna take it as disrespect.
I love that.
You're throwing a lot of big words at me that I don't know, so I'm gonna take it as disrespect.
That's just a person that studies the art form of storytelling. As a person that does that, I'm supposed to say that if the end is trash, it ruins the story because the end is a part of the story. That's what I'm supposed to say.
That's how I feel.
But what I can say is from an experiential level, the end can save a bad experience of a movie, of a story, because that becomes something that lingers and matters. And this is where I'm going to lose your whole audience.
We'll bring
Avengers
him back.
Avengers Endgame as a movie is trash. But the ending makes up for everything. The ending is such a phenomenal experience. Like once they snap everybody back and Thanos attacks the Avengers compound, that movie that happens in that span after saves everything that happened before. You will suffer 2 hours of random things happening. Doesn't make sense. Wait, what? No, that doesn't, to get to that point, right? Once Cap wakes up, you're like, let's go. Because that ending made that experience. Like I will, like to this day, I will watch fan reaction videos from those 2 specific moments, and you already know what they are.
It gives me chills, goosebumps every time, bro.
Every time.
That E-bomb back, like that gets me every time, bro.
Hey, Cap, on your left.
He's on your left.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the fan experience of that beats any bad portions of storytelling. Like it beats it because it hits something that no matter how you felt about the movie up until that point, you loved that. Yeah. And everyone in the room with you loved that. Yeah. Like that's what that is. So from a creative standpoint, no. If the ending is bad, the show is bad. Like that's just because the ending is such a pivotal part of the show.
Like,
but
I can never rewatch Game of Thrones because of hate. Because I know it's coming.
Yeah.
I know that.
Well, have you rewatched? I'm like, I can't.
I know that fucking Starbucks cup is coming. So I refuse to watch it again.
That's where it all went downhill. Was the Starbucks cup, bro?
Goddamn Starbucks.
They truly stopped caring. It was like,
You're like,
it's a product placement. We're good.
Yeah.
It's like, did this?
Ridiculous.
Like what?
Ridiculous.
Like, y'all didn't see that?
Y'all didn't. Who's being lazy? Who was it?
You really didn't clean your house before you had guests over?
Like, come on. Come on.
Like, have some pride. You just got Winterfell back. You just leaving Starbucks cups around. Like, come on.
Y'all couldn't even make that a funny haha, make that like the Iron Kingdom or whatever. Like it's really their cup. Like it's not. You're like, oh, you really zoom in. It's not a Starbucks, bro.
I said I wanted a grande ending, but not like that.
Not like that, bro. Like, nah. That's barely a Benji. Like, come on,
man. That's a mocha half cap. I don't care about this.
This is all soy. Yeah. Get out.
Ain't no shot to espresso in this. Nothing.
None.
Right.
I told you I'm almond milk only, G. Almond milk only.
Like you ain't tricking nobody. You done filled this up with ice. You're not tricking anybody.
This shit 2%.
You filled it up with ice and gave me a shot of coffee. You ain't
slick.
You ain't slick.
Hey, come on, man. You on your skim shit. I ain't doing that.
Man, Vic, but as always, my brother, it's always a pleasure to have you. And you have no choice but to come back.
Yeah, no,
you're right, bro. You're right.
Yeah,
blooded in now.
We need part 2 just to be like just every tangent possible, because we wanted to make sure that this episode we really just focus on you and what you have going on, and we wanted to make sure that people know who you are, so that once you come back they're super excited.
They're ready. They're ready. Like Vic's coming. Oh, let's go.
Yeah, because I was telling Trav about like the epic MCU rants that we get on, and Trav was just like, oh yeah, we got to get into that. So we got to say that for the next one, bro.
They out here. Listen, they still haven't come to get us, but they should though.
They about to.
They need to come get us.
It just came into my head whenever we have Vic on. We'll name the episodes Tangent Talk.
Ooh,
let's do it. Let's do it. Yo, did I just get my own segment?
Yep.
Oh, y'all done messed up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fucking talk.
Okay.
And on that note, y'all ain't get an intro, but y'all about to get this goddamn outro.
Let's do it.
It has been our pleasure, our honor to be with the esteemed, fact-proven, hardest working man in comics. That is not a myth. That is not a rumor. That is a God-given truth. Mr. Victor Dandridge. We're just gonna clap it up for him.
Thank you.
Just gonna clap it up for him.
It's been a great morning. I was very happy to wake up and kick it with y'all. This has been it. The rest of my day is about to go trash.
We set the bar. Too
high. You did, bro. Like,
let's just go to bed now.
Set it too high.
Let's just go to bed now and fast forward to Monday.
Yeah, I was gonna say. We shouldn't have done this till like 3-4 in the afternoon. We done messed up. I'm judging everybody now.
Look,
I'm go upstairs and see my family. And if they don't look at me with that same esteem that you just announced me with,
they're gonna be like, "Hey, Dad," you're gonna like, "Get out."
And I'm like, "Nah,
get out."
Nah.
You got a different energy now.
Get out my YouTube house. Get out my house.
I love it.
Go to your room and watch my content.
Go watch my content, son. Are you subscribed to me yet? Go on.
One solid. But look, normally when we close this out, I have like a very the same intro. We always end. Whether you watch it, you read it, we all need it. But we gonna switch it up this time.
Let's go, man.
Because we got a special guest.
Let's go.
We're gonna do a special outro. So Trav, we gonna talk about us first, and then we're gonna close it out with Victor.
Okay.
So some new things have happened in our life. Trav, I see you got on white. I'm wearing red, so I could consider you an airbender. I could be a firebender. So if you call me Zuko and you Aang, it's not because we've mastered air and fire, but goddamn if your boys just didn't end up in the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Let's fucking go! Let's go!
Bars! Bars!
And then we gonna
sign them. Stop playing.
We gonna end it with you, my good brother, because like I said, bro, I love you. I respect you. I support everything that you got going on. As a kid growing up, we used to watch the Backyardigans. Get that shit out the way, because we moving on to the Kindergardians.
Let's go! Let's go! go. Yes.
And we will see you next time on Dragon Ball for Life.
And the first edition of Tangent Talk.
Tangent motherfucking talk. Shout out to super producer Mikey.
We love you, Mikey. Hey. And shout out to Yali.
Hey, Miss Perez.
And we out. Bow. Bow.